So, ratbag Chuck Schumer met with unethical, lying, sleazy, lying, corrupt Zelensky in a secret meeting. Don't trust neither one of them.
Well, it ain't secret no more, is it? Yeah, I'm not.
Zelensky
I never was impressed with Zelensky anyway.
You will see what's going. You will see what's going to happen to your country. Please, can you give me some money, please?
Exactly.
And then you next pitch you see. Next pitch you see him with the UK. Thank you for the 2.6 million.
Whack.
Gentlemen, what I have to show you today is absolutely insane. You see, we now have proof that various top Democrats, including Chuck Schumer, had a private meeting with Zelensky just hours before he sat down with President Trump. And the goal of that meeting? To sabotage Trump's plan for peace negotiations between Ukraine and Russia. And yes, you heard that right. The very same Democrats that pretend to care about democracy just worked to subvert our democratically elected president in order to keep a foreign war going.
Yeah.
But hey, don't take my word for it. Take a listen to this.
The peace deal that blew up in the Oval Office Friday would have been the starting point for negotiations to end the Ukraine war. It would have put America at the center of Ukraine's future development, and it would have brought back some of the money we invested over there. It's also worth mentioning that it would have stopped the killing. So how come it fell apart in that Oval Office blow-up? Well, perhaps it's got something to do with the meeting that Zelensky had with top Democrats hours before he arrived at the White House. Democrat Senator Chris Murphy posted this on X on Friday morning. Quote, "Just finished a meeting with President Zelensky here in Washington. He confirmed that the Ukrainian people will not support a fake peace agreement where Putin gets everything everything he wants,
look at this.
and there are no security arrangements for Ukraine," end quote. In other words, just before Zelensky was due to sign the deal, he was telling the Democrats he didn't like it, and they supported his opposition. They encouraged him not to sign.
And that's so crazy because now that makes
stupid.
And do you know about an hour, 2 hours ago now that Trump said, no, we're pausing any funding going to y'all? Because at first, when he went there, Trump was willing to give him some more money, according to go ahead and sign in for peace. So we're going to sign for peace. We'll give you this money, but this is a peace deal between, and you're agreeing that we're going to see peace. We're going to let Russia know it's peace. We're going to sign the paperwork and it's going to be over and you get some money. And he was like, it'll never be peace and back and forth. But now it makes sense that you were talking with Chuck Schumer about y'all already knew that you didn't want to do no peace, and y'all already bragging that this is going to happen and this going to happen. But then you the same person to sit there in front of Trump and you say, y'all going to know about the war. Y'all going to know. Oh, so what do you know?
But the thing is,
what do you know?
Why do we have people that's talking to him outside of the meeting that he was going to have with Trump? You know, you need to be on the same team. This shows us still a country divided.
Yeah.
And this makes no absolute sense to me.
Then Zelensky went into the Oval Office, rolled his eyes, talked over the president, argued with him, and killed the whole thing.
Yes, he did.
No doubt the Democrats are pleased. They've helped scuttle President Trump's foreign policy initiative. They're piling on the insults. Senator Adam Schiff calls our president a coward. Democrat Congressman Seth Moulton says Zelensky's a hero for standing up to Trump and Vance, who he calls puppets.
Whack.
Perhaps the left believes that Trump can be demonized again. Is this the return of Trump derangement syndrome, maybe? That doesn't do America any good at all, and it certainly doesn't help the people of Ukraine who now have to keep fighting.
Folks, all of this is absolutely unbelievable.
It is.
The Democrats aren't just opposing Trump domestically. No, now they're working to undermine and subvert him on the world's stage. And now we actually have even more proof regarding just how deep this betrayal of American democracy actually goes. You see, inside sources are confirming that Chuck Schumer himself instructed Zelensky to reject Trump's peace proposal.
Oh, traitor.
And then, after Trump's meeting with Zelensky had concluded, guess what Chuck Schumer did? He came out and publicly accused President Trump of, quote, doing Putin's dirty work.
Oh, please.
Folks, you seriously can't make this stuff up.
I know.
The Democrats are literally going behind our president's back, sabotaging peace talks, then accusing him of being the bad guy.
Wow.
But you know what? Check this out. Chuck Schumer wasn't acting alone on this one. Because now we have reports that are alleging that several key figures from Obama's team also told Zelensky to reject Trump's peace negotiations. This list includes former Secretary of State Antony Blinken, Victoria Nuland, Susan Rice, and Alexander Vindman. So folks, let's get all of this straight. We have unelected former officials from the Biden and Obama administration, as well as Senate Democrats, interfering with foreign policy without the sitting president's approval, all to keep the war in Ukraine going. How is all of this not the textbook definition of undermining democracy?
Absolutely.
Right.
Because, folks, here's the reality. The Democrats aren't just working to subvert President Trump. No, they're actively working to subvert the will of the American people. But before we continue talking about that, I want to say real quick that if you guys enjoy the daily news coverage, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a ton with my daily struggle against the YouTube algorithm. But okay, folks, check this out. Right at this very moment, President Trump has his highest approval ratings of all time at 53%. Also, 63% of Americans want a total shutdown on all foreign aid, including aid to Ukraine. On top of that, 78% of Americans think it's time for Ukraine to make a peace deal with Russia.
Yeah.
The American people have very clearly spoken. We are done with this war. And yet, instead of listening to the American people, the Democrats are holding secret meetings with foreign leader Zelensky in this case, pressuring him to reject peace and pushing
Chuck Schumer look like an old casino dealer right there. Look like he
just
owns
like-
an old
reminds me of that.
casino that's falling apart.
The series we just watched.
for even more bloodshed. And so, folks, what seems very clear to me is that the Democratic Party is no longer acting in the best interests of America or Americans. Now, let's take a step back and really think about what's happening here. What we're witnessing right now is a perfect example of the so-called deep state in action. For years, we've all known that unelected bureaucrats and entrenched politicians like Chuck Schumer have been working behind the scenes to control our government regardless of who we vote into office. And now, we have top Democrats, once again like Chuck Schumer, who are not in power anymore, colluding with foreign leaders to sabotage the sitting president of the United States of America. They lost the election, they lost the argument, the American people have spoken.
Zelensky got on Dickies. Whew. Okay, I'm sorry. I had to
Boy,
say
a
that.
super goon, ain't it?
And yet, instead of accepting it, they're doing everything they can to undermine the will of the people. And folks, let's be honest, if the situation were reversed, if Republicans were meeting with foreign leaders to sabotage the Democratic president's negotiations, the
gosh.
media would call it treason.
Exactly.
But because it's the Democrats doing it in this case, it's just business as usual in
No.
Washington, D.C. And this, ladies and gentlemen,
Look
is
at that
exactly
face.
why President Trump's mission to drain the swamp is more important than ever.
That's right.
Because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter who we vote for if a bunch of unelected bureaucrats and minority party politicians can just step in and
Interfere.
undermine everything
Exactly.
our elected leaders try to do.
Exactly.
Yep.
We, the people, elected Trump to manage foreign
Both of them
policy.
like,
We,
hold
the
up.
people, elected
Quit
Trump
it.
to put America first. And we, the people, want peace, not endless war.
Look how unanimously, let me go back to this. Look how unanimously they were like, no. You can obviously tell when he said at that moment was
Not it.
not it. For somebody to naturally raise their hand at the same time, that means whatever you said was insane, and it pissed. And there's multiple people in that room that probably felt the exact same way that they felt.
And we, the people, want peace, not endless war. But like I said, none of that matters if these deep state operatives are allowed to continue running the show from behind the scenes. And so that is why it's absolutely crucial that President Trump succeeds in rooting these people out of our government once and for all. Because if we don't fix this problem now, if we don't get rid of these corrupt bureaucrats and partisan activists pretending to be public servants, then we will never have a government that actually represents the will of the American people. So really, when you think about it, this is not just about President Trump and what's going on right now. Really, this is about the future of our country.
Yes.
Either we have a government that listens to the people, or we have a government that ignores us while taking orders from a bunch of unelected, unaccountable insiders. For years, the Democrats have told the American people that they are the party of democracy, but now they're literally having secret meetings with foreign leaders to undermine the democratically elected president of the United States of
That's
America.
right.
Dirty.
They are defying the will of the American people to keep a foreign war going, and they are doing it while accusing Trump of being a threat to democracy.
Right.
Folks, it is absolute insanity. But you know what? The American people see right through it. There is a reason why President Trump's approval ratings are so high right now. I'll tell you why. It's because people are sick of this anti-democratic behavior from the Democrats. But folks, this is a big one, so I want to know what you guys have to say about all of this. So please go down below and drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Please like the video if you liked it. Like I said earlier, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a ton. Thank you all very much for watching. And of course, as always, stay safe.
Let me see. Let me just make sure I shout out this channel. It's this is shout out to sometimes the mouse don't want to pay. Matt Moore's TV.
Wow. What a viewpoint. That is just the absolute worst.
It was already, he already pre-knew what he was going to do in there because he already had to talk with the people. They said, hey, do this where you go in there and have a talk with them. And then that's why he went in there with that rebuttal. He hadn't had that plan to do what he was going to say in there. But then you got Obama's team, still the crookedness people, still telling what to do.
Get them out of there. Drain the swamp. How are they still there? Get them out. Remove them. How can we remove these people? Because they're going against the greater good.
Yeah, they are.
But how can you say you are a person that truly supports this country and its citizens if you're doing opposite of the of what's in best interest for us?
Yeah, you the whole time, and you're really only doing it to
fatten your pockets. How you gonna benefit from that if the war continues? It's some way that they must gonna benefit somehow.
Neither could you help us as a country if we were fighting against other countries. You couldn't do nothing for us. The little weapons we gave you will be blown up in a week with a real World War III.
Little weapons. Yeah, it's so disappointing. It's like, can't we just work together for the cause so we can come up and better the country? But once again, it's been shown that the people is not a concern for the Democratic Party. It's not the people. It is what their benefit, how they're benefiting from what's going on in government through the people.
Through the people.
But they truly don't have our best interest at heart.
No, and that was obvious. I just cannot believe that's where his energy came from in that meeting. With,
treason is right. Yes. They need to be removed. They need to be removed. How dare you go talk to a president of another country and give a directive, yet before he's supposed to meet with the president of the United States, not another politician. It's the president. No, so they need to be penalized.
How strong are you a leader if you listen to people you didn't listen to the head, you just listen to somebody on the teams?
And how long is it going to take them before they really drain the swamp? Because this is going to be an arduous process. It is absolutely, let me pick my words wisely, ridiculous. I'll just say that.
Well, just on that note, man, we're going to drop out of here. Y'all, just keep on draining the swamp. That's what we need to do. Keep getting these evil people out of office. We'll see you on the next one, man.
Subscribe to the channel, guys. Like this video.